Hey, Science Seekers, this is Mr. Pfeiffer here. We are back with another episode of the Science Seeker. This is season 3 of the Science Seeker Show. We are starting our show today with our first episode with one of our new teachers here at Margaret Mead Junior High, and his name is Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans is actually a science teacher, and he'll be teaching 7th grade along with me this year, this school year, in 2021-22. The fun thing and why we have Mr. Evans here today is to start season 3. We want to do things about Science Seeker Show and about science being everywhere in all the places where we live. So Mr. Evans actually was a scientist before he became a science teacher. So it's always great to learn about new science and STEM careers, and that's what we're going to do right now. So Mr. Evans, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about like what you did for your career before you became a science teacher? Or maybe did you graduate college with certain degrees or anything, et cetera?
Right. Thanks for having me, Mr. Pfeiffer. I graduated Augustana College. I did pre-med bio as my undergraduate. And when I first graduated, I went to Rush University Medical Center, where I worked in the brain and behavior department and specifically worked on Parkinson's disease. And we worked at the highest level. We worked actually with not only working in rodents models, but we worked in primate models, and some of our stuff was in phase 1 and phase 2 trials of humans. So we worked directly with the hospital and put our discoveries basically into human beings. So some of the things we did was we basically had Parkinsonian primates, which means they have Parkinson's disease, but they only have it on one half of their brain. And so because the right half of the brain controls the left side of the body would exhibit the tremors or the freezing and stuff like that. And the right side of the body would be perfectly normal. So not only would we have a control, but we'd have an experimental group in the same animal.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Did I hear? Yeah. So let me make sure I got this correct. You said primates, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you were working with like chimps, I assume, or was it?
They were rhesus monkeys and cynomolgus monkeys, which are like African green monkeys. So rhesus are most similar to human beings in the primate model.
Okay, and you were looking with the Parkinson's side of the brain versus the regular side of the brain and how they behave differently. So that was a big part.
So we would behavior test them, basically doing behavioral pickup tests and motion tests to see how they worked. And then we would give them our therapies, which were lentiviral vector therapies, which it attacks cells just like COVID does in a viral way, except we've inserted a good gene into the virus. So we wanted it to infect neural cells, brain cells, and regrow them back and have them not be lost, because in Parkinson and Alzheimer's disease, a specific part of a brain cell dies.
And that's the thing that I was going to elaborate on. Can you elaborate a little bit on like Parkinson and you said Alzheimer's? And I know Alzheimer's, there's a lot of unknown variables, a lot of variables and different experiments going on with the brain. And the brain is such an enigmatic, piece organ in our system. So what exactly are those diseases? So we kind of understand that you were clearly working towards solutions to helping fix these diseases.
So with Alzheimer's disease, it's a specific part of the brain, mostly in the hippocampus area, or the hippocampus area. It is plaques and tangles, which means the cell is producing too much garbage and it can't like clear it out with the lysosomes. In Parkinson's disease, it's another specific part of the brain called the substantia nigra, the putamen, and the caudate. And those are right in the middle of the brain. And that's like the control center for movements and stuff like that. So you have a motor cortex on the top of your brain. And then you have your frontal cortex. So your frontal cortex says, hey, I want to move, sends a message to your motor cortex, which sends a message to that midbrain part of the Parkinson's disease. And those are the cells that die. So you're losing those cells, and those cells cannot communicate with the rest of your body to move. So you can think you want to move, and then your body doesn't move. So
Wow.
we try and actually grow those cells back that are in the middle of the brain.
That's very cool. So that was so just to let's wrap up and surmise kind of maybe the role of you would be more of like a lab scientist, right? You were doing experiments, collecting the data behaviorally on what these primates were doing with their hands with these different objects based on the therapies you gave them before and then after they had Parkinson's or Alzheimer's.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Awesome.
Behavior testing, and then we would harvest tissue samples, and we would immunohistostain these samples to actually show that the cells have grown back.
So you would have to do some dissection and then look in the microscope to look at the cells to see how they grew, if they grew back and stuff. So that's more of a physiology. You would need to have a lot of, as you know, I think you said you were pre-med, so you had to have a lot of anatomy and physiology classes and a lot of biology and understanding the behavioral part of it, but also the biochemistry behind everything. So you can see how as real scientists, it's not like you're just one specialty all the time. It is a combination of all these disciplines to be able to do the lab science that you were doing and the research that you were doing to help these people with these diseases. So we want to applaud you and thank you for sharing your experiences as a real scientist. Anytime we can get some scientists out on the Science Seeker Show, we love it. So thank you very much, sir. Kids, watch the next episode. Season 3, episode 2 will be coming out soon. Peace out.
Thank you.